I was going to open with that three-legged dog joke. Thank you, Dean Brown, graduates, family and friends, faculty, and of course, my loyal scribe Jonathan for writing this speech. People asked if I would be dressing up as one of my characters today. I tried, I really did. Bicycle helmet did not fit beneath this hat. But what I can do is give you all the one gift nobody else can give you. That's right, a congratulatory Jonathan head nod. You ready? Now, I know there's a lot of people here, never seen any of my videos, have no idea what's going on right now. Thank you for sticking around. I know I am an unconventional choice as speaker today. It may be hard to believe, but in the 222-year history of Yale Medical School, this is the first time an internet comedian ophthalmologist has given the commencement address. Many world-renowned physicians and scientists have stood where I stand today, including Dr. Vivek Murthy, Surgeon General of the United States, who gave this address in 2019. And now, 3 years later, you get Dr. Glockenflecken, TikTok star. Did you guys have budget cuts? Or? I know the pandemic's been hard. But let my presence here today be a reminder that there are many career paths in medicine. Academics, private practice, research, creating doctor characters with significant personality flaws who work at a fictional hospital on social media. There are so many choices. Of course, it is an absolute honor to speak to the graduates today. Congratulations to the Yale Medical School class of 2022. And an extra congratulations just to those of you going into ophthalmology. You're my favorites. The rest of you, you're fine. You're fine. No, you did a great job. You just chose the wrong field, that's all. Now, obviously, I'm kidding. We can't have all of you go into ophthalmology. That would be ridiculous. Who would work weekends? Holidays? After 5 p.m.? Somebody has to do body medicine. It's not going to be me. I took a look at your rank list. Very impressive, very impressive. You all made excellent decisions, except for the one student who chose neurosurgery. Yeah. Was that a mistake? Was it an accident? Like, did you click the wrong button or something? I'm just trying to understand. For those of you in the back who may be unaware, neurosurgery training is so long, you finish residency and then immediately retire because you're 65 years old. To all the future ophthalmologists, well done. You are joining a specialty best known for being impossible to spell correctly. And now your first order of business, forgetting everything you just learned in med school. You think I'm kidding? I haven't thought about electrolytes in 10 years. The coagulation cascade? Never learned it in the first place. The heart and lungs? I know they exist. What more do I need to know as an eye doctor? In preparation for this speech, I learned a lot about Yale Medical School. I learned about the Yale system, a cutting-edge, unique educational philosophy that boils down to, hey, just do whatever you want. No classes, no tests, no rules, no regulations, no requirements. Is this school accredited? These degrees are worth something, right? But there is no doubt in my mind that Yale, the faculty, the patients you've encountered along the way, and of course, Anki flashcards, have laid the foundation for all of you to build incredible careers in medicine. And now the next adventure awaits, residency. I'm sure you're all excited, maybe a little bit scared. Maybe you're afraid that all the things I put in my videos are actually true. Well, rest assured, there is a lot of embellishment in my content, except for all the stuff about residency. That is 100% accurate. The truth is, residency is going to be hard, even for the future ophthalmologists. You'll have days where you save a life, where you make a difficult diagnosis, where you gain a patient's trust. Those are the days you walk on air, the days that make all the sleepless nights and the long call shifts worth it. But there will be days that suck, that are awful, days when you make a mistake, days when your confidence is shattered, days when you feel like maybe you should quit medicine and try to make it big on TikTok. Don't do that. We all have those days. I still have them. Everybody on the stage still has those days. But you know what's going to get you through those difficult days? Each other. Well, crying helps too. But mostly each other, your colleagues, your co-residents, your classmates. You're going to be calling on these people 5, 10, 15 years from now for advice. We talk a lot about showing humanity to our patients. We don't talk enough about showing humanity to each other and to ourselves. When I was a third-year med student, my wife and I were at Dartmouth, which is a place, believe it or not, more difficult to get to than New Haven. I woke up one morning and found a lump in my testicle. Now, I didn't know a lot about medicine at that point, but I knew my testicle wasn't supposed to try to grow another testicle. I went to the doctor, diagnosed with cancer. I had surgery, and I told myself, it's going to be fine. I still have the other one. It's just going to have to work a little harder. Then 4 years later, I was a resident. I woke up one morning, and I found a lump in my other testicle. I learned 2 things that day. Number 1, I'm really good at finding my own testicular cancer. And number 2, I was part of the lucky 1% of people with testicular cancer who get it in the other testicle. And I'll never forget the day I received that second diagnosis, because it was a lot more difficult that time around. I had a lot of questions swirling around my head. Were we done having kids? My wife and I had 2 kids at this point. They're here today. Do I need to bank sperm? How much is that going to cost? What about hormone replacement therapy? What about graduating residency? Would I have to postpone that? I had a lot of student loans I had to pay back. I was thinking about all of these things, and I was on call at that time. And as I walked out of radiology, having just received the diagnosis that I had cancer again, I get a page. Patient with a traumatic eye injury who needed emergency surgery. And I lost it. I couldn't handle it. I started crying. It was too much. And thank goodness one of the ophthalmology fellows, a friend of mine, saw me. I told him what happened, and he did the second nicest thing anybody's ever done for me. He took the pager. He told me to go home, to be with my family. And it was exactly what I needed to hear at that moment, because the truth is, we are terrible at asking for help. We think we can do it all. We can overcome any challenge by ourselves. I honestly thought to myself, you know what? I have a full day in clinic. Not a big deal. I can sneak away for a few minutes to find out if I have cancer. We give so much of ourselves in the service of others because that's what doctors do. And that's great until there's nothing left to give. So be the person who takes the pager. Be that voice for your co-residents. If you see somebody struggling, offer to help. Offer up a little bit of humanity to each other because most of us are too stubborn to ask for it. So once again, I had surgery. I told myself, it's going to be fine. At least I don't have a third testicle. Then 4 years later, in May of 2020, my wife, Kristen, also here, my wife, Kristen, woke up in the middle of the night to the sounds of me gasping for breath. At first, she thought I was snoring. She tried to shake me and get me to wake up. But she couldn't wake me up because I wasn't snoring. I was having a cardiac arrest in my sleep. That night, she did 10 consecutive minutes of chest compressions. 10 minutes until EMS arrived. I told you earlier about the second nicest thing anybody's ever done for me. The data for out-of-hospital cardiac arrest will tell you that I had a 10% chance of survival that night. My wife had other plans. She wasn't going to let me die that night. And if you take one thing away from this speech, let it be the importance of CPR. Now, all of you, all the graduates, you all know CPR, all right? But I guarantee you have someone in your life, probably someone here today, who doesn't. Now is the time to learn. So everybody grab a partner. Obviously, this story has a happy ending. I'm still standing here as husband, father, son, TikTok star. And as grateful as I am for the medical team who took care of me, I am just as grateful for the people who showed me and my wife humanity when they didn't necessarily have to. The first responder who took time to update my wife as they were actively resuscitating me in our home. The nurse who set up FaceTime calls between me and my family in the ICU at the height of the pandemic. My partners who made us meals and told me to take as much time as I needed to heal. And the hundreds of thousands of people on social media who reached out, sent letters, messages, even raised over $50,000 for my favorite charity in my honor while I was fighting for my life in the ICU. This is how we combat burnout in medicine. We show each other humanity in times of need, during an illness, during a family crisis, during a pandemic, or just a 24-hour call shift. We create a culture of service, not only to our patients, but to each other. We lift each other up. And I don't want to put a lot of pressure on you, but you're going to be instrumental in building that culture going forward. Actually, yeah, I do want to put a lot of pressure on you. It's up to you. You got to do it. You got to do it. And my final piece of advice to the new doctors here, laugh, okay? Laugh. Tell jokes. Have a sense of humor. Medicine is serious business, but it's also outrageously funny. Anesthesiologists constantly taking breaks. Internal medicine and their endless rounding. Ophthalmologists and their loyal scribes. Ortho, just being ortho. So go out there, lift each other up, lift medicine up with humor, with compassion, with humanity. Thank you and congratulations.